in reprogramming this belief system that I had built up very well. It was very negative. And even though I had no idea how I was going to follow these beautiful new principles, I still felt their truth. Now, 10 years went by. I was on a healing path, and my shoulder, I had become a freelance artist, really from the inspiration of these writers saying, you know, follow your bliss, do what you're called to do. And I had made a living, and then in my early 30s, the arthritis in my shoulder got so bad, I had to put my art aside. I had already had my hips replaced and my knees replaced due to the arthritis that comes with metamorphism. And I was traumatized by those surgeries, and I had not made peace yet. So this new information with my shoulder, I could not understand what was happening. I thought I had really come to understand who I was, but really, there was still a lot of my past that I was dragging along with me, trying to pretend it wasn't there, trying to be strong instead of just be real. So when my shoulder lost its ability and I lost my faith in the world, I said, what have I done wrong now? How am I going to pull out of this? All my old mantras came flying back up. I'm never going to be good enough. My body ruins everything. It poisons everything. I'll never measure up to other people. And without my art, I didn't know who I was. That had been something from my childhood that nurtured me, that gave me value, I thought. I didn't know I had innate value. I thought it was what I did with it. And so with that bond, I had nothing else to do but look at me. And I started writing with my typing with my left hand out of frustration and needing to vent. I'm sure you've all been there. And I trusted a few friends with email, which was new back then. And their responses to me, I was really beginning to tell them where I was at. And I really wanted them to think I was who I was at that moment, in a lot of pain, and in a lot of confusion, and feeling the losses of my past very heavy. And when I shared this with them, their responses were so beautiful, and they reminded me of who I'd become, not who I was, not who the world said I was, or my family said I was, but who they saw that I had become, and who they wanted me to continue to move out into the world as. Not this youngster who still was kicking and screaming about what had happened to her. And my shoulder brought this all to the surface. You know, I thought it was a terrible, horrible, awful thing. Why me? I've already had enough surgeries. I don't want to go. And yet, it really was the makeover, as adversity always is. It's the gift, because we are avoiding, or we're not growing, or we don't know the purpose in the pain. So the shoulder ended up bringing out this writing. It turned into a book. My heart lightened as I got all these old stories out instead of carrying them around with me. My right hand started jumping into the typing. I would have to put it down at my side because the pain was starting to lessen. The pain was, the doctors gave me every reason why it was there, but really, the deepest pain was emotional pain that had locked in my body and said, you know, we can't get out until you acknowledge that it exists, that you have this pain. And in sharing it, you'll find that everyone else has carried their cross too. And I realized through my book, seeing the overview of my life, seeing the full circle and the meaning, knows us best of all, that loves us best of all. None of that stuff, my art, my writing, none of it is as clear and as wonderful and wild as the inside. And it took taking away everything from me to begin to see that. I was so stubborn, I was so sure I was a victim, that I had self-imposed all these limitations that I thought were coming from outside. And they were really just blocking that love that was bleeding. And with my book coming out, I have done wonderful things, met amazing people. Wayne Dyer called my house and invited me to be on stage with him. It's been amazing. And all of this to put my vulnerability completely out there. Instead of that, all that time, I was trying to fit in, trying to be like everyone else instead of being me. So this magic of writing that we are here doing together, which is even, 100 times what it is on our own, it's just such an honor to share that with you and to have you mirror back to everyone here our brilliance and our truth. That's such a gift. And there is someone, and for many someones out there who need to hear our voice. They need to hear our stories, our resolution, our inner peace, because they're probably in the same place that you were once. And it may seem ordinary, and it may seem extraordinary. Either way, it's all beautiful. It's all necessary. And it's all deeply sacred. So our paths are all headed toward the same oneness, but we are in different, unique clothing. We have different unique talents, and if we don't bring those out, who will? So I want to thank you for welcoming me this weekend. It's been amazing. Every turn where I was feeling confused, there was someone to help me and to say, yeah, I was confused too. And it was the same message over and over. We are in this together, and we are one on the highest level. So I wanted to end with the words of Libby Roderick. Does anyone know the song? How could anyone?
Mm-hmm. Of course I do.
Do a lot of you know it? Can we sing it?
Sure.
Yeah? Jan, I know you know. Okay. All right, ready? How could anyone ever
Tell you you're anything less than beautiful? How can anyone ever tell you you were less than whole? Anyone to notice that your love, it is a miracle? How can you're connected to my